This was fire, y'all, man. I really appreciate it, man. I'm glad we got a chance to talk to you guys, man.
I didn't get to ask you all this during the show because at this point I'm gonna probably end the show. But how do you all feel about people? How do you feel about Drake? What's your feelings on Drake? Drake.
You could not do it, huh?
I could not do it.
This is really funny.
Dan, I'll let you field this one, Dan.
Okay. How should I answer this?
Yo, welcome to Beers and Bars,
your place for rapid fire hip hop discussion and of course great beer.
I'm Kamal Kiddo.
OT the Golden Child. First of all, shout out to our last. Come on, who was our last? Dan from Hip Hops. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
the homie Dan from Hip Hops.
Danny.
Yeah, make sure you check him out. He does beer and album pairings, and he also has a YouTube channel where he breaks it down even more in depth. So check him out at Hip Hops double underscore.
At hip underscore hops.
Yeah.
On Instagram. Yeah.
New guest here today. Some gentlemen that I think we just recently started connecting through IG, right, Dan? We recently just started.
Yeah. Maybe like a month ago.
Exactly, man. So we'll let you guys introduce yourself. Tell the people who are watching or streaming and listening who you are.
My name's Dan Bonifero. I'm a part owner and operator and creative director of Laylow Brewery and Laylow Shop. Yeah.
There we go.
I'm some say his better half. I'm Colin Weddick. I make the beer.
Hey, there we go.
Right on.
So we are here today with Laylow Brewery. You guys are out of. Tell the people where you're from, man. Where's Laylow Brewery at?
We're in Toronto, Canada, Toronto, Ontario. Right in the deep of the city. We're in Brockton Village. Toronto is kind of like that phony Canadian kind of New York City. We like to take boroughs. We pretend we all have all these little cities inside of our city.
Yeah.
So we're in Brockton. We're in Brockton Village.
Right on. Brockton Village. Look, okay. Before we go any further, gentlemen, what are we drinking? Before we get too deep.
I'm going to kick it off. I've been kicking it off for a couple weeks, man. So I'm going to kick it off tonight. I always forget how to pronounce this word, but I think it's Baphomet. This is from Revolution Brewery, Chicago, Illinois. This is a Bock beer coming in at 6.6. Oh, look at that intentionality there. 6.66%, right? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So good beer, though. This is the last one in my 4-pack. Big shout out to Revolution Brewing. We are Chicago people here. So, out of my League of Heroes glass here. So, yeah, man.
Right on. Shout out Revolution. Right on.
Like that black on black can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have great art. They have great can art, man, over at Rev Brewing.
They do. They really do, actually.
Yeah, man. Let's kick it to one of our guests. Let's let one of them tell us what they bring on the show.
All right, I'm drinking a stout right now. I don't know what the weather's like for you guys in Chicago, but it's a pretty cold day today here. So I feel like it was a good day for a stout. This guy's Black Hand, and this is from Blood Brothers, really good Toronto brewery.
Nice.
7% stout, brewed with cocoa.
Cool.
So,
right
on.
Yeah,
man.
Nice.
It's what is it? Come on, it's like 50 here.
Yeah, it's kind of cold here.
Yeah, the weather breaking this weekend is going to be in the 70s in Chicago, so like we really excited.
Yes, this weekend it should be really nice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we live for those breaks. That's what we get. We had like a summer day on Wednesday, and then Mother Nature just punched you right in the face next morning with some cold ass weather.
You can't trust March.
No.
Not at all. That seems to be a theme everywhere. North, so yeah. What you got, Kamal?
You want me to go?
Yeah, you go ahead. Go ahead.
I'll go. I'm a piggyback off of Colin. I'm actually having a stout as well from Haymarket Brewing. I'm gonna crack open my Clare's Thirsty Ale today.
Yeah, that's hilarious.
Bourbon barrel aged Imperial Stout with raspberries. It's a 12% ABV.
Jeez.
Hey,
So
he
let's get
partied
it
on the
cracking.
Thursday, y'all.
That's why it's a small can.
Yeah. So yeah, and that joint is very, very good. It's almost like a dessert type beer, you know, like it's very tasty. So yeah, I have one left too, Kamal, and I'm trying to hold on to that joint for at least a rainy day. So
This is
Is that a Chicago brew? That's a Chicago brew?
yep.
Yeah.
Haymarket, yeah. Haymarket is in the West Loop area of Chicago. All right,
Yeah.
come on. West Loop, yeah. So
That's
closer to the downtown area. So
Crazy.
Dan, bring us home, man.
Okay, I have a bottle that's not labeled. This is the problem with living in the city with brew friends. So I picked this up from my boy Brandon. He's the head brewer at Avling, and I had to get him to text me what the hell I'm drinking. But this is called Pale Fire, and it's a barrel aged blend with peaches, and it's 6.7 ABV, and it's crazy. It's really nice. Got a crazy nose too.
That's what's up, man.
Pale Fire.
Pale Fire, yeah. It has, I think he told me like 1,000 pounds of Ontario peaches in this blend.
Wow.
It's like very easy to drink. I have a lot of
that. Can you get that in a can or a bottle?
He just sent me like the label, like they're making the labels right now. So
wow.
This is like what's cool about having friends in the beer scene. You get to try stuff before it comes out sometimes.
Oh, trust me. Yeah, we've had similar opportunities, man.
Yeah.
So first of all, let's cheers it up, man. We glad to have you guys, you know, on the show, you know. So let's just start at the beginning, man. Tell us about Laylow. Tell us what's going on, how you guys kind of started on this journey.
Yeah, let's start with, you know, why did you decide to start a brewery in the first place? What's going on with that?
Yeah. Colin, you want to start it off?
Beer and vibes, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Dan and I, we worked together at another brewery in town, and we really bonded over just talking about hip hop and mostly kind of complaining about the music that was being played at the brewery that we worked at, and always just kind of saying to ourselves like, fuck, you know, if we had our own place, like we'd really be playing some great stuff. And you know, so then our friendship just kind of came out of that, just talking about what are our favorite beers, what are our favorite foods, and really like who are our favorite favorite artists.
Word up.
And so go ahead.
Yeah, just like a natural progression of that. I mean, it's as simple as it gets, right? We were all in this other brewery, which we found very cookie cutter to a lot of breweries. And then, you know, we were always feeling like this missing aspect was, you know, hip hop. We were like, man, it'd just be nice to just like throw on anything right now, just to like liven this place up. But, you know, like know your role, and it's not our place, but we just go to this bar across the street and just, you know, scheme up these plans of like, man, one day, like imagine like, you know, we had this spot that like was just hip hop, and like we were just pushing brew for, you know, it just didn't exist in our city. It never was something that we could find with the beer culture where it's at now, where you guys are obviously way ahead of the game and always have been in the States. I find we're getting there, I find, in Canada and in Ontario for us, but it just felt like something we really wanted to touch on. So it was just an idea at first. And then, yeah, from there, a lot of things just sparked. A lot of things just kind of fell into our lap. It's just funny how the world works. Sometimes it just brings, you call it fate, or you can just, you know, we met each other for a reason or something like that. But I was let go. Colin shortly after followed out, Jerry Maguire. And then we just kind of did it really quickly. I was expecting my firstborn, and it was a very like rash decision. It was just kind of like, yo, we got to do something. We should do it now. And yeah, we'll be 5 years open this September. So
nice.
It's been a good run, man. It's been a good run.
So did it always start at a brick and mortar brewery, or did you start at home first, just trying to get flavors and recipes together, or you went right in from that brewery that you all met at to not too long after into a space?
Yeah, we pretty much went in right away, and it was really like, the whole history of the space has been all about transitions. It was just about like working with an idea, and then transitioning to something else that we felt like, more kind of the vision that we wanted to convey. Mm-hmm. So when we started, we weren't actually, we just had one beer on tap. The idea was we wanted to, focus on beers from around the world. We wanted to be more of like an international, a lot of Belgian, a lot of German beers, a lot of American stuff as well. And, but we always had one beer on tap that we brewed in-house. And the demand for that one was just always pretty high. So then we just kind of slowly kept taking over more and more of our draft lines. And then, maybe after 6 months, after a year, we had 6 of our own. And and then so eventually we just sort of realized like, let's not even bother with the other beers and let's just focus on ours.
Nice. Nice.
Yeah, we started small, and we feel like our growth has always been like really real, really organic, and really like, just real,
Yeah, just from the very get-go, like even like our walls, like we left our walls empty for so long because we were just like, no, like let's not force anything here. Like we know what we want to be, and we kind of felt like an evolution of the space will happen naturally, and it's always kind of been like that. And even to this day, man, we're always just like changing it. Like I naturally have ADD, so like I can't just like sit with the same room at all times. I have to like flip it or have a new artist come in. We have this dude actually, Moni Zakur, right now painting this like giant Tribe Called Quest mural. Like it's unreal. Like it's just it's super abstract.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. Yeah.
And every 2 minutes I'm like, okay, he's done. It's sick. He's like, no, man, I'm not done. I'm just like, yo, how are you not done? Like, I don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. It's just so great. But like, it's just like, we're always pumping energy into that space, and it feels like the progression is we're just trying to keep that same mentality consistently. So the beer has always been the engine. And Colin makes amazing beer. It's light, it's easy to drink, it's crushable. With like that, Belgian kind of underlying tone.
Yeah.
And it's funny because we just made one, and we called it Once Again. That was our first beer, which was
what was the style of that?
That was, I think, just pale ale. I think we just did like pale ale for the first run, and like obviously everyone who came through was like, "I'll just get your beer." Like obviously, why would they order anything if we're telling them we're making?
But it was so small. Like we were making, like I don't know, like 15-gallon batches, so super small when we started. So, now it's still pretty small as well. We're basically up to like 1 barrel at this point.
We are Toronto's smallest brewery.
The smallest,
like 100%.
Yeah.
And so, and you still only keep one. You still have your beer on tap, but do you still have other beers from around the world on tap now, or is just your beers in house now?
Now it's just strictly our beer. We don't even have beer on tap anymore. We can't really serve beer in the city at this point. So again, also like small brewery problems. Like we only make enough to either be bottled or to be on tap. Like we can't even like do that math yet to be like, okay, let's put like 2 kegs on tap, but then 3 of these get bottled. It's like, no, let's just push everything home. And that's kind of the name Laylow has really worked in our regard at this point, because this lifestyle that we've all kind of been forced to live has kind of helped our brand expand and be like a stay at home kind of vibe. Like, stay home, lay low, like get your beer, go home, like grab your things, whatever you need, grab your vinyl, grab your books, like chill out, like just be safe with it. And it's actually, I mean, it kind of, again, just fell in our lap. We're like, we are called Laylow. Like, we should just be pushing that idea of like, let's stay safe. Let's keep everyone, on that same mentality of like, we're all in this together. We're just going to bottle right now. You can't come in and just kind of keep that It's like a mom and pop kind of vibe.
Word.
Yeah. Laylow Radio. Laylow Laughs. When you started this, so tell us about that. Laylow Radio and the Laughs program out of Laylow.
Yeah. It's still like Penny, it's still growing. We're pretty deep rooted in the music and art scene. Laylow as a bar was a pretty beautiful space as like a hub for artists to network. It was just that spot where people came through. Obviously, when you create a space that's based on specific culture and music, you're going to bring in a lot of talented people, and it's just natural that people are going to come through to see like a great DJ. We all vibe on the exact same kind of beat, and it's really great to witnessing a hub of just people bobbing their heads together all the time is just like it's beautiful. It's like a work of art to me. Being behind the bar and just the DJ spinning, and we're a small space too, right? We're only like 50 people max, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But to see that whole room every night just move into that exact same groove, you can't put a price on that. It's unbelievable, and everyone leaves and they're best friends. So that Laylow Radio was pretty much the idea of let's put everyone on a spotlight consistently and really like let everyone shine, who we know in the city, and who's next, and who do we think is give them their flowers. It's time for them to step up. And so the program is it's pretty consistent. I do reach out to a lot of artists in the States as well, but the idea is curate a playlist. Let us hear your music that maybe some people not know, also your influences, and it's just kind of like a little inside look into that artist essentially. But I'm not looking to manage or start a label. I think for me, like Laylow Radio is really just like our passion for music, and it's just kind of like I can't put everything into one account. Like Laylow Shop should just be our lifestyle, but Laylow Radio is like let's talk about music more. Let's make music, a separate entity for our brand. And then Laylow Laughs, we did have a comedy show every Sunday. It was epic. I mean, man, that show was so good. We had big dogs coming in, man. Like that show was so underrated. And it was free. Fuck. I talk about this all the time. Like that show was free, Colin. We didn't charge anyone for that show. And that was like 8 to 10 comics of the best comics in the city, some from all over Canada. Yeah. And it was 2 hours. It was every Sunday night, hosted by 3 rotating comedians who are all like big writers now for, sketch shows. And that is on like a back burner right now because I have to figure out how we're going to bring that back. We did a couple like Zoom shows, but man, nothing beats a comedy show live. It's just that aspect of a crowd. There's so many things you can do on Zoom, but like comedy, I've seen it, I've watched it. It's just there's something about that banter with other people. But
and energy from the crowd and all of that.
It was great, man. It was great. It was those are the days of like, when you sit and reminisce about all of the things that we've accomplished. Like those nights were priceless. But the idea of all of these like sectors is just to kind of show our flex of everything that we love. It's just we love it so much that we can't just focus on one thing. Like so it's almost better for us to just break it into different parts and just show like we're more than a bar. We're bigger than beer. It's a bigger process. We're really about community and the arts and pushing other people around us. And we're about people. We're people. Like we're people. We just want to learn about what everyone's working on. We want everyone to know what they're going to do next. I'm very passionate about this stuff. As you can tell, I could talk about it for hours.
No, I'm just listening, man. That's dope.
It's been a great process. It's been a great process.
I dig it, man. I definitely when I first checked you guys out, I saw how, you know, it was segmented. You know, you got radio, you got the Laylow Labs, you know, but I just, when I see something like what you guys have, you know, it's just Laylow is the brand, but you guys have many different things going on connected to that one, you know, that one thing, you know. Colin.
And for us, it's just like they're all so connected, you know, like
Yeah.
music, hip hop, you know, food, beer, community, vibes, you know, like all these things they're so connected. So for us, it's kind of a no-brainer, like to kind of try to work within all of these different zones.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you, Colin, how did you get into brewing? How long have you been brewing for?
Yeah, I mean, I got into beer. Like a lot of people got into beer from, you know, the American craft beer scene. Like, you know, maybe they had like, I don't know, a Sierra Nevada Pale Ale, or they had a, you know, Anchor Steam, or they had like, you know, some of these classic like American craft beer stuff. You know, the hoppy beers really. But for me, I got into beer through Belgian and German brewing. You know, because like beer's pretty new in Canada and older in the US, but I mean, really you're talking like 30, 40 years of like the kind of craft beer in North America. But, you know, you go over to Europe and they've been doing this shit for, you know, hundreds of years.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I was really lucky. I got to work in a really cool bar in Peterborough called St. Veronis. And it was, just like really interesting beers. These are beers that are, you know, Trappist beers brewed by like Belgian monks. That was really, my entrance into into beer. And then I don't know, you know, my background's Italian. My grandfather, my nono, he always made his own wine, and I was always like super interested in that. And then you know, once I got to be like 19, 20, I was like, I can get drunk for pretty cheap. So you know, I started learning how to make my own wine. That kind of got me into the idea of fermenting and making alcohol. And then so maybe when I was in my mid 20s, I just kind of transitioned, and I was like, you know, I can make wine. I should try to start making some beer and see what happens. And and you know, I've made some pretty good beers. I've made a lot of really terrible beers, but
I drink them all, man. I drink them
they
all.
all work.
We don't dump anything.
We don't dump anything.
Anything bad, we just drink for research. So
anything bad, they just take the whole keg home. I'm just like, you know what, man? I'll figure it out. I'll figure it out.
we drink our mistakes.
Right.
It's been a long process, and you know, I'm not even close to saying that I'm an expert on brewing, and I don't know if anyone really is, considering like how much there is to it.
Yeah, man.
But yeah, so I'm always just trying to learn as much as I can, try to get better and better. Every beer I make, I want the next one to be better. So I don't really focus on like brewing a ton of different beer styles. I'm more about like repetition and finding a recipe that I really like, and then taking like diligent notes. And next time I brew it, I'm like, okay, this I liked, but I want to change something. So small tweaks.
What's your favorite beer that you've made right now, that you have available right now? What's your favorite right now?
Yeah. I really like the Lightworks. So Lightworks is it's a Belgian wit. So it's a wheat beer, but it's kind of got some influences with like a German wheat beer. So the German wheat beers are a little bit more like banana, bubblegum, those kind of flavors.
Yeah.
But with the German brewing tradition, they don't add anything to their beer. They don't add like any spices or anything like that. They have this old, you know, it's called the Bavarian Imperial, the Reinheitsgebot, you know. So, you know, their German beers are phenomenal, but some might say they're kind of boring. I don't think they're boring, but, you know, you're kind of limited in what you can do with it. Then you go over to Belgium, though, and they're putting all sorts of weird stuff in their beer, like flowers and herbs and, you know, like, you know, like the stout with raspberries that you're drinking right now, Otis. You know, that one is like probably influenced by kind of a Belgian influence there.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this beer, the Lightworks, it's kind of a cross between elements of a German wheat beer and elements of a Belgian wit. But we've added hibiscus and ginger to it as our spices. So the hibiscus gives it a really nice kind of tart, floral, like really interesting flavor. The ginger gives it a little bit of spice. Lots of flavor in there, but the goal with this beer and a lot of our beers is to make them easy drinking. So, it's around just a little over 4%. And yeah, so every beer we make, we always try to make it as the goal is, oh, I like this beer. Do you want another one? Yep. We always want it to be like, some beers you have and they're great, but you want another one? It's like, no, one was good. There's
a lot, which is nothing to knock it either.
Yeah, it's just we like to focus on the kind of beers that are like, oh, I could drink this all day. But so drinkability, but also complexity. Trying to find that balance.
That's a good point, actually. That's interesting that I'm listening to a business owner of a brewery and a brewer talk about that psychology of a customer wanting to come in. I mean, because this is very high in alcohol.
Yeah, how many could I serve you after that, right? If you're at my bar,
and I don't know. It's funny that you say it. Right. I don't know if I need another one right away. If I had one that was lower in ABV, I could definitely. You know what? Let me get another one. But yeah, have you all? Let me ask this with that in mind, because since I'm drinking a stout, Colin, you're having a stout. Do you all? You're just focusing right now on the type of beer that you're making right now, or are you looking to get into other types like a stout or?
Stout drops tomorrow, actually.
Hey, there you go.
There you go.
The plug.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, I mean, I still think we've got a pretty good range of options, but we try to keep it manageable. And it's also like, we like to we brew the kind of beers that we want to drink ourselves. So yeah, we try to that's kind of our guiding principle is like, would we drink it? Then we'll make it. So sometimes that depends on the season and like what we're feeling and.
I think that's the best, man, because like it's a lot of breweries right now up this way. If you've never watched our show, I go by Basic Bitch IPA guy. That's me. I'm always drinking fucking IPAs, right? But it's a lot of breweries in Chicago now. Like we have a brewery called Goldfinger. There's a brewery called Dovetail. They're focusing on, I would say they're more focused on like those a certain type of beer where they're just honing in on. Like Goldfinger is very good at lagers, right? And more traditional styles. Same thing with Dovetail. Like as to where some breweries, they're trying to do all different kinds of things instead of focusing on, what is really like, what are you really, really good at? I'm a fan of Hop Butcher this way. Hop Butcher has the most amazing hazy creations, right? That's really what they focus on. So yeah.
So like, I mean, for me, beer is food, I really think about it in that same sense. And so, you've got all these different styles of beer, like think about them as like different, cuisines, right? So you don't really go to a lot of restaurants that are like amazing sushi restaurants and pizza places and and bars, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of like, you can probably do a couple of those really well, but
right.
Can you nail them all? I mean, that's the goal. But
that's fair. Yeah. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah. Let me ask about you all's merch and apparel program. I think it's very interesting because that's the first thing that I noticed just looking at your page. The merch.
We've been pushing the merch. That's great that you noticed. It makes me feel good, like I'm doing the right thing.
You're doing the right,
and specifically the apparel, because it's not. These are not your typical just screen print stuff on tees and hoodies type of branding from a brewery. I think it's interesting that it looks very clean, very progressive. It's not just stuff printed on a shirt. You got your you got the sweats with the actual embroidered Laylow on it, the sweatshirts. The trucker has with the nerd flip
Oh, the Brewing. Yeah, I
You
love
know,
that.
it's a lot of these. You know, I get the hip hop, influence, the gangstar flip, you know what I'm saying, the different. You have your classic streetwear logo flips in there, but I think that the level of quality that it's at is very robust and mature for a brewery, because
Man,
this is not something that you normally see out of a
Yeah.
honestly, like
and
that
you
that
talk
alone
about,
is what I'm looking for. That is literally
yeah.
like you just like, man, that's
Can
exactly
you
what I
talk
need
can you
to
talk
hear.
about like why you felt it important, like that? Obviously somebody is focusing on that, the hats with the
Yeah.
stitch. I mean, all of it, you know,
It's fire, G.
it looks
Looks
more
good. Yeah.
than just, you know, it almost look like, I'm thinking, is this a apparel brand first
Oh
before
shit,
even knowing
this is
that you
so
are
crazy here. You have no idea what this means. Like honestly,
I'm
like
for real. This is
I
like
talk
not
about it every
like,
day, man. I so first of all, thank you. I'm super humbled when you say that. I also like suffer from imposter syndrome with this shit. Uh, I love clothing and I love streetwear and I love
yeah.
the '90s era of what we all rocked. Um, what I wanted to do from what I had already seen in all these other breweries, I was just like shocked of how quickly people pull the trigger on shit. I was just like, why are you selling this? Like I'd go to the shop and I'd be like, who the fuck is gonna buy this? Like and they order it in like the thousands. And it's like I just don't see, like, if you don't care, why do it?
Mm.
And I always felt like if when we do drop our first piece of merch, I want it to be exclusive. I want it to be limited. And once it's gone, it's gone. You can't get it again. So I always wanted to make really special pieces. So the capsule pieces, um, for me, I thought were just a good kind of introduction to our brand, which just kind of, I think, set the tone. I'm pretty much done with the logo flips, but the flips were, I think, necessary to kind of separate ourselves from other breweries in the city and let people know, like, we're the torchbearers of that boom bap hip hop in the city, and this is the shit that we love, and all we want to do is keep preaching the shit that we've always loved our whole life, and everyone will follow because we know our people and our crews that go to these shows and concerts, and we talk to about hip hop all the time. We knew that would be a pinnacle of like, okay, Laylow's actually gonna mess with this shit and do it right. And then from there, when COVID hit, because I was only doing very small runs, I wasn't doing anything like crazy. We were doing like the OK player flip, giving you true notes. We were just like giving you true brews. Let's just do that. Like it was just like very natural. We didn't want to force anything. And then COVID hit, and I was like, we were in this kind of standpoint where, the city was locked down. Obviously no one was really making money anywhere at this point. So the government was giving some grants to certain businesses. And, I just spoke to Colin, and we have a third partner, Adam Marinelli. And, we had a conversation that was basically like, I was like, listen, I really want to I want to take this to a lifestyle brand. I don't just want to make shirts to sell at a bar anymore. I think I actually can do more than that. So I just said, let me take a budget and let me just start with something small and let me see what I can do. Now, I'm very blessed with the people around me. Like I always say, like Laylow is literally the people that are there. Like it's not us. Like we are nothing without everybody. That's all, we've always said that about our space. Like our brand is nothing without all the people that have been in those doors before. The people that I've worked with on all this stuff, my boy Andrew Campana, Fab Beretica, like these guys, like my photographers, my people that like take my ideas and bring them to life.
Yeah.
Like that alone is just the most satisfying part. It's just working with all of my friends and family. We were like, okay, we're gonna do like 10 lines. We're gonna re-release all our beers because we never bottled our beer until COVID. We were only exclusively pouring our beer, right? Like we were like, oh shit, we gotta start selling beer, man. Like we have to start bottling it. We gotta get off the taps. So I was like, okay, we're gonna release every beer with a label, and every label is with a shirt or a piece of something, and we're gonna drop each beer like it's a fucking award. Like everyone's gonna be like, yo, I gotta go get this beer, gotta get the shirt or the shorts that come with it, and it's an event. Every drop was an event. And I just knew I had to like come with it with like the classics. So like we dropped Northern Touch, which is a shout out to like Carnell, the Rascals, but also we flipped it in a Mob Deep sense for the Up North trip, which is the track reference. Yeah. And I was, because Canadians, we go cottaging a lot and we go up north a lot. So we always, I mean, that was just like my anthem, going to cottage up north trip. So I was like, let's do that though. And then people who are Canadian will also understand it's the Rascals reference as well.
Fire.
So man, just shit like that. It's just, the beer makes you feel good. You pull it out of the fridge. It's not just the taste and how great and refreshing it is, but it's also like this nostalgic kind of hug. It's like this thing you love the fucking beer.
Yeah.
So yeah, the bread. I meant what you said is like, thank you, because I struggle with it, and
man,
I'm having so much fun doing it. And, you know, there are L's, like there are some that don't go as planned, but I'm proud of every piece. Like every piece we've released, I love everything. And, you know, just like our beer, like I wouldn't make anything I wouldn't wear. And I wear my shit everywhere. Like I basically purged all of my clothes. All I wear is Laylow gear now.
Let's go, man.
Insane, but
let's go. Yes.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff coming. Like now like the transition is like homeware, and like, you know, we're making like dope ashtrays with like little one hitters, like ceramic joints, and like you know, pillows and blankets, and like
and it's not just like branding our stuff on other products. Like we're working with Toronto artists to do all these.
Everything we do has an intention with other people as well, and which is a very good point. We're always trying to work with others and people that, you know, have given us back just as much. They come in and they buy the beer, but we also know that, you know, they own their own business too.
Right.
Come on, we in the wrong spot. We got to move to Toronto, G. We gotta go up there to that scene up there.
Man, if you guys were there, could you imagine? Like, you'd be making a beer tomorrow. We'd be like, all right, beers and bars. What do you guys want to make? Let's put it on a label.
Look. I want to talk. So one of the things you said, you know, when we was talking, because you run the social media, right? Okay. All right. You guys are obviously, you know, hip hop influenced and whatnot. We are Beers and Bars. Let's talk as much music as we can. What are you guys into, man? What's up with the Toronto scene?
Right, I want to know who's out of the Toronto scene. What's popping right now?
Yeah.
Toronto scene, like top of the game in my opinion, is Junior T. I don't know if you guys have heard Junior T. He's an insane producer. He's a touring DJ for Jesse Reyes. I don't know if you guys know who Jesse Reyes is.
Yeah.
But June is he is a studio monk. That is his vibe. That is his moniker. Like, he is the guy you want to be in the studio with right now. He just released his deluxe edition of his album, which was a Polaris Prize nomination of 2020. If you guys want some hip hop right now in your life, get Junior T's Studio Monk. And honestly, I could just say that tonight and I'd be happy if you guys just listen to that. He's our hometown hero right now, man, for real.
Junior T. Okay.
Junior T. He's the guy, man. And then, like, you know, people in the States that I'm really feeling, Serene Poems from Flint, Michigan is unreal. don't know if you guys know Serene.
Serene Poems.
So yeah, he
Coming with
sounds
the
like a
underground.
he sounds like a young Busta, but he's got like common like conscious rhymes.
Mm.
I'm telling you, I should probably preface with like, yo, I'm obsessed with music. I hunt for this shit. Like I'm crazy, and I apologize.
No,
that's what's
how
up.
tell us the strategy. How do you hunt for your
Okay,
music?
the
What
hunt.
do you do?
There's many aspects to the hunt. There's many aspects to the hunt. So growing up, I always had like my lineup of websites that I would always just like peep for like release dates and shit.
True.
You know, and some of them are not even around anymore. But those are always key factors. Then, you know, aside from that, there was always, you know, the beautiful internet in general, which would just lead you to other artists just from, you know, I always peep the featured artists. Like if there's like somebody like on a track and I'm always like, man, who's singing this chorus? And they don't even get a mention. I look for that artist. And then I find out, you know, they worked with Fonte and they did a track with Anderson .Paak, and this girl is on the new Anderson .Paak. And I'm like, holy shit, this girl's been everywhere. No one knows who the fuck she is.
Right.
You know? And then aside from that, algorithms are blowing my mind, because everything you listen to, these machines are starting to just credit you with other artists. They're giving you a free gift every week.
Yeah.
And if people don't actually access those playlists, which they should, because it does know what it's doing. It really does, man. I go on there and I'm like, yo, I just heard the craziest track in my life, and I would have never known what it was. And then I looked it up. I think it was like JJ Cale. Like, I'm talking my dad's shit. And I think it was called Cherry Hill. But it was so hip-hop, and it blew my mind. It was like this machine just recommended me to listen to JJ motherfucking Cale, old-ass white guy my dad is obsessed with, and the beat is so dirty. I sent it to like 8 friends. Like, someone sampled the song today, and it blew my mind that a machine told me.
Come on, sample that, G. Come on, sample that. Go ahead.
I might have to.
Dude, I'm telling you, JJ Cale, Cherry Hill.
Well, look, we were just talking about this, I think, on a recent episode, how Apple and all these joints will create playlists based upon what you like. And a lot of times it's like, damn, Apple knows me. What the hell? Like,
it's weird. There are days where I just can't believe it.
It's kind of scary, but it also works well. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like the first few years when we were at Laylow, I was using Google Play, and everyone was laughing at me. I was like, what do you use? They're like, I use Spotify. I use Apple. I'm like, well, shit, man, we got Google Play here, so I'm not changing it. Like, I already made like 30 playlists, and then Google Play shut down like a year ago. They're like, we're done. And I'm like, fuck, all my playlists are done.
Yeah.
So I had to like transfer everything, and I was like, all right, who am I going with? And you know, like, respect to Apple, but Spotify just has their shit together, and I really like how they help independent artists.
I'm transitioning soon. Look, I have bro,
I need one, right? You need one. We can't do 5.
I got 2. I have Apple and Spotify, but Spotify is still in me right now. Like, as far as just how their playlists are created, and just the aesthetic of the look of it, it looks cool to me. Like, I don't. Yeah,
it's nice, man. It's nice.
Yeah, man.
I'm not mad at
like a made for you playlist. It's wild.
I like my station on Apple Music, but I just found it. So, you know, I normally listen to albums. I like listening to an artist and their albums. I like figuring out, is this album good, bad? Yeah. I can live with this album, you know. Yeah. I judge an artist based on their full bodies of work. I don't like singles and things like that. I like to judge an artist by their full bodies of work. You know, like, you know, right off the top, you know, No Worries, Anderson .Paak, and Knowledge. I love that album.
Yeah, that's
such a good album.
That's a forever album.
Scared Money is like always in my head. That's
like 2016 or something like that.
Yeah.
It sticks like with you. But I go back to that album, and there's artists that I feel, you know, it's hard for me to listen to a project by a really good artist if the album itself is just I judge artists by their body of work. So I generally tend to listen to full albums when I listen to music.
Yeah.
You know, in the order that the artist intended it to be.
Yeah, and that in itself is beautiful, right? Because there's not a lot of artists who are putting out full bodies of work anymore. Everyone's all about that quick buck on that one single, and it's very like, you kind of weigh it. It's like, it's really good though, or it's like, I think he's just like another pawn in the game. They're just, you know, these people are just trying to, you know, work the system and play the shit that people want to hear. But then you find like a gem once in a while, and you know, those then you're like, okay, I'm interested now. Like Kota the Friend from Brooklyn.
We were just talking about yeah.
Dude is crazy. So I heard singles by him, and then I started digging deeper into his portfolio, and good Lord, he just dropped a record with Static Selector. He produced the whole thing.
I didn't know
it's
that.
Insane.
It dropped.
It's insane.
It dropped like
they're,
3 I believe.
Young guys coming up.
Yeah,
it's hard to find full albums, man. Full albums are hard to come by these days. And I at the end of each year, I always do my top 50 albums, not tracks.
50?
Top 50 records.
albums. That's a very hard task. I have a hard time with 5 albums.
Yo, at the end of the year, Beers and Bars does a top 5 rap albums of the year, right? So we got
why pigeon yourselves, y'all? You guys talk about music all day. You doing 5? God, Lord. Like you guys should be doing like the top 100 and then 100 episodes. You break down each one, like for real.
We haven't been open at Laylow as a bar all year, but when we were open, we would just play full albums as well.
Yeah.
So
that was another thing we talked about. We're like
8 hours a day. It's like we're just playing like our favorite albums, and you walk in, you're like, oh damn, like what is this? This is amazing. And it's like, and then you get to hear the whole album in the right order.
Yeah, like shit. Like people don't like, again, like exactly, like we'll play a whole D'Angelo album, and people don't even know how good he is. It's like, bro, what are you talking about? You've never heard this album.
Time out.
Right.
I just said last week how much play Voodoo has been getting since the verses. I've been bumping Voodoo just religiously, like every other day. I'm like, what am I gonna listen to? Oh, Voodoo.
Dude,
Voodoo,
I had a conversation with my homie Chris today. He's the co-founder of Mandem Bike Club. And we were talking about how we didn't watch any verses until they announced D'Angelo's. And then I watched D'Angelo. We both did the same thing. I was like, bro, I don't watch verses. But then he announced D'Angelo and Friends. And I just was like, I need to know who's on the show. And that was like,
you watched
that was a night.
Didn't you?
That was a night.
W, right?
That night was so much fun. That night was so much fun.
For me, Raekwon and Ghost are probably like, that was like my dream verses that they could have done. I mean,
that's amazing.
And you know, there was a time when I felt like, you know, which is the better album, Iron Man? I mean, because that made me listen. You know, I never listened to Apple Music versus playlist.
Yeah,
but in preparation for this, I know all these songs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Those are like know all these songs. So, you know, to hear of all the artists that they could have had, Raekwon the Chef and Ghostface Killer, these characters and rap. I mean, there's a lot of mythology around the stuff that they talk about and the crazy way they talk. And, you know, just to hear them banter is already entertaining.
Yeah.
But
man, we were talking today. I was thinking like there has to be more like that. There has to be more like Rake and Ghost. Like they really need to focus more on like not like just production, but like bars, specific, like obviously, like that's what this like podcast is about, right? Like I would love to see Mose and Talib together.
I was listen
like,
as you were talking. That was my next statement. Like I would love to see Mose and Talib Kweli G.
Man, and if not, and if Mose doesn't want to do it, like get Common then. Like just like have that camaraderie.
That would be
and,
that
like,
would be
those
good.
guys. That would
Black.
just be like
Black.
because like my introduction to hip hop was a lot, but my when I fell into like the teacup in what's that movie? The
Get Out.
Dude where he's like Get Out. Like my like moment of just like I am never leaving the hip hop culture was Sound Bombing 2 by Ruckus Records. I was finished.
Sound Bombing 2! Yes.
Sound Bombing 2 ruined my life. I was done. I was like, yo, I'm never listening to anything. Like I am going to find all of these artists on this album and I'm just going to branch out and figure out. I'm going to break down the algorithm of all of this shit. Where are they all from? Who are they? How did they get here?
That was a good project. Got Medina Green, Babu and then Beat Junkie. That was a good one.
R.A., The Rugged Man, Eminem.
R.A., The Rugged Man. Eminem was on that. Eminem was.
Any Man. He dropped Any Man on that. And I was like,
right.
Who's this?
Right.
I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know who anybody was on that shit.
Early Eminem.
Check it out.
Early Eminem.
Check it out. The other day I was playing Renegade. And my son, he's 10, but I threw on Renegade, and he's at the table just like, I'm watching him like, like, he's like, is that Eminem? I'm like, yeah, son, that's Eminem.
Wow.
And he just the whole time was just like, but just to speak about the good music. So I think the album that ruined my life probably was Illmatic. And it was because I didn't listen to that stuff at the age when it came out, right? Like I was a little West Side Chicago boy playing Twister and Crucial Conflict and all these local, Chicago artists. When I heard Illmatic, probably when I was like 17, 18, I was like, yo. I knew who Nas was, obviously, because I had heard his later stuff, but I had never heard Illmatic. When I first heard Illmatic, fucking New York State of Mind.
Just the drum come in.
Like, what is...
Man,
that's a crazy sample. That's a crazy sample.
OT, you have to listen to Will Sessions. You know Will Sessions?
I think I've heard of that.
Have you heard of Will Sessions?
Is this the Alzai? Is this the Alzai remix?
Okay. Yeah. Okay, bro. Okay. This is your one thing to do.
I like
Will Sessions does an Illmatic album, and it's a live album. It honestly, like, it'll bring all of your Illmatic dreams to life because he takes the whole album and recreates it. It's
Illmatic instrumentals,
bro. And then there's another one with Elzai who does all of his new verses on top.
I think I've heard that.
Elzai is good.
Oh, good.
The live music. I think Life's a Bitch. I think it's Life's a Bitch.
Yeah.
The breakdown. Oh my God. The musical.
I think I found. Did it come out in 2011?
I'm trying to look for it right now.
I see the Illmatic instrumentals by Will Sessions.
Right. The Illmatic.
We throw that on. Honestly, that's like a closing time at Laylow. Like when people know shit's about to shut down, we just let them dance it out. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like I remember the day. Who was that? Sam gave me that, a DJ who comes through, and he played that, and I was like, "What the fuck are you doing to me right now?" He's like, "You never heard this?" He's like, "Oh, you never heard this?" I was like, I had to like step back, and then I played it for everyone. Like honestly, after that day, I was just like, honestly, like that record is crazy. Like for someone who is like Elzai loves that album so much, and Will Sessions love that album so much. They're like, I just want to make an homage to Illmatic.
Yeah, like it really goes to show you just the brilliance of Illmatic is that like you can you can use Illmatic as a platform for an entirely new project. Like just that album alone.
Just 10 songs. It's so crazy.
So crazy with the production, man.
With the production, yeah, exactly. So
Large
very.
Professor, Primo, freaking Q-Tip. Everybody got off on that joint, man.
Yeah.
Before we get out of here, man, let's tell the people once again where they can find you guys at. Where can they find Laylow at, man? Instagram, Twitter, whatever the case may be. Where should they tap in with you guys?
Yeah, Instagram at Laylow Shop for all, pretty much just like the whole lifestyle brand and just everything that we're doing, just like full on updates is at Laylow Shop. You can keep up with some of the beer aspects at Laylow Brewery. Laylow Radio for all of our playlists that we release, which will be rolling out soon. We have about 40 that have been curated, but we haven't released any yet. All special guests curated, which you guys are definitely getting in on this shit. 100%. Maybe it's a duo, maybe it's a singles. I don't know what you guys are gonna do.
Whatever y'all want, man.
Man, 100%. You guys got to do it. And Laylow Shop for everything. 100%. Laylow Shop. Follow us and in laylow.beer or shoplaylow.beer is like where you can. Unfortunately, you can't buy our beer where you guys are in the States, but we ship worldwide. All of our clothing, so our clothing is worldwide. That's it, really.
Yeah.
Right on.
Beers and bars, man.
Thank you, Laylow Brewery, Colin and Dan.
Beers and bars.